My name is Nisutet Aakhakhtat Shaep. Today, I will be reading for you the Gospel of Yanun on the Sacred Feminine. This class is being streamed live on www.nuwaup.com. WU-NUWAUP.com. This week we will resume reading from verse 254. Yet what is sad is that so many of our women have abused their bodies, passing from boyfriend to men and having sex with so many, or the intake of so many masculine body fluids, such as sperm, semen, that their inner body has many hosts. Or they gave up their virginity at a young age, much too young. Or they have children or a child at a much too young age. Or having children by more than one masculine. All these acts affect their divine feminine. This does not mean once she becomes Nuwaupu that we disrespect her. In fact, we respect the fact that she did all those acts, or any of them, before she knew her divine feminine as a goddess. Yet protect the youth from making these same mistakes with their divine bodies. In our culture, there is different rules for those getting joined in marriage. The sacred secret of feminine is she holds the secret of sexual pleasures. And what is laha, pleasure, and how do you know what it really is? It is a pleased feeling, delight, satisfaction, to be satisfied. And what is tarze, satisfaction? It is not to satisfy, radze. It is from the Latin tongue of the Romans, satis, which means enough, satisfied, fulfilled the needs or desires. It is not the act or action, yet it is the completion. Tarze, meaning satisfaction, is to be satisfied, had enough, fulfilled. This is the feminine's best kept secret. Most of their lives they live unsatisfied by the masculines in their lives. Why? Because masculine, for the most part, does not take the time out to study the feminine. There's 9 sexual pleasure centers of her. The eros zone, from Greek, eros means love. Her erotic or arousing sexual system, the fact that her pleasure zone ends after 3 inches in her womb, no deeper. Her sexual sensory nerves in her womb. After 3 inches, there is no feeling at all. And her clitoris, the small, sensitive, erectile organ of the vulva, sits on the outside of her womb. The vulva is Latin for womb, the external genital organs of the feminine. The secret is her, what is called G-spot, her main pleasure spot, and she will reveal this secret to the masculine for the asking. So it is not how fast or hard the masculine pumps or bangs, nor how deep he penetrates or widens her vagina. That is not the secret to her satisfaction. Knowing her body, taking your time and gentleness, yet for the most part, most feminine live their lives unsatisfied by the masculine in their lives, while he thinks because she allows him to think that she is satisfied. And in many cases, the feminine are forced to live an unsatisfied sexual life. For you see, the feminine can always please the masculine, and the feminine can always tell if the masculine is satisfied, because his sexual organs reveal his satisfaction. By the masculine's tansab, erection, and his tathrab, ejaculation, not merely by his body's reaction, which can be faked. So the feminine holds the secret of sexual satisfaction. She has the secret spot of pleasures. The world have but overlooked the feminine pleasure. Their overlords, they call God, has their masculine removed the upper layer of skin from the mumkin, from the mamam, penis, also called kadzab, rod. Call it circumcision. Make it a religious covenant with Abraham's seed, right down to Muhammad's followers. What they do not explain is exactly why, so that they created such foolish things as health reasons. Would not the God who created masculine have known this at creation of circumcision and accounted for that? Others claim cleanliness. Again, would not an all-knowing God know this before he created the male penis? He has made a way for feminine to clean herself and her vagina. They really don't know the real reason their God demanded males remove the upper layer of skin from the penis. The actual fact is to expose the nerves of the lower layer, which is much more sensitive than the upper. The result is premature ejaculation on the male's part, unsatisfaction on the female's part, and more unplanned babies are born. Remember, in the Bible, word for covenant is from the Hebrew word barach, eat, food. Bareth means covenant, and their gods, this is of the Bible and the Quran, ask them to offer and sacrifice flesh and blood, even steaks. Their God and Lord loves the smell of cooking and burning flesh, called the sweet savor, and eats flesh, as it says in Genesis 18:1-8. So the more births, the more food they abduct and feed on humans for thousands of years, many just gone and missing. That is why they were commanded to remove the upper layer of skin from their penis and call it a religious act. These are demonic lies. And males who have it, they suffer from pre-ejections, and their consorts, sexual partners, go without sexual satisfaction. Most women do not experience orgasms while having sex with a male. She keeps this secret from him, and many, for his sake, will pretend to have an orgasm. Many times she wants to stop because of his misinformation about feminine pleasures of the female. Misinformation about feminine pleasure is the deeper a masculine or object penetrates the female's womb, the more pleasure, or the wider her womb is expanded, the more pleasure, or the harder the male bangs his body against hers, the more pleasure. All there of these are wrong and lies taught. Yet the feminine has kept this a secret from most masculine. Why? His manhood. The media of Abrahamism's religion world over have taught and spread misinformation over the years since Bible and Quran on the sex. Most other cultures worldwide, non-Bible and Quran, have doctrine on feminine sexual pleasures, except the religions of Abraham. Those being Mosesism, Jesusism, and Mohammedism. And they teach the feminine from her youth what a male God, male angel, male prophet, male apostle, male disciple, male Messiah, male Mahdi, male rabbis, male clergy, male imams, how the females of planet Earth should feel. What women should do with their bodies inside out and outside in. Males control religion and most of life, and they exploit females sexually all around you, while Abraham's religions enslave women by man-made laws claimed that came down from a male deity by whichever name. How she should cover her natural nature, her given beauties, her sexual attractions, from veils to coverings of all kinds. She is not allowed to enjoy the sun's rays on her body or swim in open seas to enjoy herself in a sin. It is a sin in the Bible and Quran. She can be killed and called a sinner if she exposes her body, while the men of those religions dress as all others and expose their bodies. Natural nature gave women their bodies and also made females sexually attractive to the opposite sex. This is nature. It happens in the very brain that is natural nature's plan. This is given to females to attract males for reproduction. So in actual fact, natural nature gave her the body to be sexually attractive, and men made religious laws to tell her to cover it up. And these men claim a male god by whatever name they ordered. This is for feminines? So the feminine is and was abused, neglected, overlooked for masculine's pleasures. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. This is the system of male pleasures. She allows this most of her life for him. And she is forced to keep silence about her physical needs sexually. She is the true mother of all humanoid living. She is the goddess, and her body is the holy temple to be worshipped as such. The sacred feminine of feminine is she holds the secret to sexual pleasures. She can allow masculine to think she is pleased. He has no way of knowing, yet he cannot hide this from her because he is exposed. Males tell females when she is a woman based on your governments, your states, your religions, and her age, not her body. By natural nature, a female is a woman when her body is ready to give birth, when she begins to ovulate, from Latin meaning egg. Her body will produce and discharge ova from the ovary or ovulation, nothing at all to do with her age, or 13 years or 18 years or 21 years as most claim. By natural nature, a female is a woman when her body starts to menstruate, from Latin menses meaning month. She is in tune with the moon, lunar cycles, menstruation, which is the monthly flow of blood from the uterus of the female. When this takes place to clean her body inside out, she is a woman, nothing at all to do with her age, or 13 years, or 18 years, or 21 years, as most claim. It happens to girls at different times in their life, not set by man-made governmental or religious laws, yet by Mother Natural Nature. Yet masculine tried to make laws that govern the rules of natural nature to control the minds of women. This does not mean in our own culture of Nuwaup that she is to start having sex as soon as she ovulates and menstruates. For Nuwaupians, the choice of the right mate at the right time and her outer as well as inner body development plays a part in her health too. Sex before marriage is not acceptable in our own cultural way of life. Therefore, there's no boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. This does not mean that boys and girls will not find the opposite sex attractive and wish to be in their company. Yet this environment must be controlled by adults of both sides. If a young woman of our tribe decides to spoil her body by having sexual contact before marriage, this act is frowned upon by her family members and the adult women of our family. She is held at fault for not making it clear to her in her youth the importance of keeping herself pure. As in our own Nuwaupian culture, the female must learn how her body works. If a female has sexual exchange of body fluids with more than 4 males in her life and knows that each male fluid lives on in her body for up to 9 years, and these living fluids are in conflict with each other, and it's all affecting her. It affects her thinking, her body, and her health, both physically and mentally. The male's fluids mix with her fluids, and as eggs die, they spoil. This can create internal vaginal odors. As if the female does not know the proper rules of her hygiene, the hygienic rule from Greek, hyges, which means healthy, her inner body begins to spoil. Once her hymen, Greek for membrane, the thin mucous membranes that closes parts of sometimes all of the opening to her vagina, once this is broken open before the hymeneal deity of marriage, her hymen, her vagina begins to breathe inner body air and can develop body odors. Odor from the Latin word means smell, scent, aroma, odor. So she must understand our own cultural rules on her body, inside out and outside in. Before she exchanges body fluids with the opposite sex in any way, this has an effect on her body for the rest of her physical life. Moving from one male after the other is much too much for her physical body. Each becomes a part of her. While under the spell of lust, passed on by the cursed seed having been raped by their own gods, Pa Munfalu or Nefalu, the Adamite race allows open sexual acts of all kinds and spreads many diseases. They cannot produce any other race from their genes except their own race, their own color. So, they must mix and delude by a doctrine, world over, even put their females on public display to be used as sexual objects to all others. This is not our own culture. You have accepted an evil way, a wicked way. They choose to live and make it look fair-seeming or justifiable when it is not. They live by their overlord's sin. They only promised him they will deliver all others to him for his and their use. Nuwaupians feminine, your body is a holy temple. It's grown as a garden to grow mantaru or netaru of your own race, pa negaru. You can produce all others in all colors. Understand this actual fact. Our ancestors are symbols of our beings, such as sabab or geb, means dry earth, as the male's sexual organ is dry. Man's thought travels at 24 billion miles a moment, while nut is sky. They come from tefnut, meaning moisture, as the inner womb of the female is moisture, liquid, water, and shu is breath, wind, air. Woman's thought travels at 26 billion miles per moment. Yes, females do think faster than males. So you see, the son Geb is dry. His sexual parts are exposed, as a penis is dry, no moisture to retain odor or cells. These are dead, no cells dead or alive, as the female's sexual parts do. Yet Tefnut, and you see in her name, Nut as well, N-U-T. This Tefnut, moist, and the female sexual part, vagina, is mostly internal as a uterus and retains odor of eggs that spoil an abode of infections of many kinds, as yeast infections for many reasons. If not taught and or unaware, she develops body odor. Some try and cover it with deodorants or perfumes, yet this does not prevent internal odor. Many relationships are broken because of this, and they never talked about it or discussed it between mates. He does not know how to talk about it with her. She was not taught these facts about her body. Relationships destroyed because of lack of right knowledge. And the feminine must know as soon as the love is gone, when she knows she is no longer in love with her sexual partner, all exchange of body fluids must stop, or you affect your inner body with internal wars, which will make her body sick and can cause disease and death. The same to have sexual exchange with someone you're not or no longer in love with is unhealthy to the female's body. It has no effect on the dry flesh unless he contracts a venereal disease, and he can pass this on to his consort. Remember, Nuwaupians, you come from water as children of the 8 Ogdoad, water deities. So you emerge from the sea, and in like manner you emerge from the water sac of your mother's womb. With the help of the male seamen or sea men, onto land and sky as the 9 Ennead, from the feminine, from between her femurs or hip bone, where her vagina is. The true 2 pillars of the temple, femur, Latin for thigh, or thigh, Old English theo, the leg between the knee and the hip, the thigh bone. As you can see, the Old English theo comes from the Greek theos, God, theo, gods. From their verb theo, to place something here, or theaters, placers. So yes, they know the feminine is deity. This gospel I put forth as Nabab Yanun on the sacred feminine is to wake you from a 6,000-year spell, that you may know you are our divine holy mothers, and write our next 24,000-year story, which began in 2000 AD, the last of 4 cycles of 6,000 years. And we masculines must relearn to respect, that is to take a second look and respect our matrix mother like no other race. Do not violate her holiness. Do not seek to please ourselves and destroy our own race by and for our sexual pleasures. Not to down or degrade our women, females, ladies, girls. Raise her back up as our matriarch of our own tribe, our race, and our nation. The feminine is the enclosed garden of delight, the pleasure palace. Once your daughter is allowed to open her pleasure palace before marriage, she will never be the same child again. Nuwaupian feminine, natural nature rules do not mean that you are to violate your modesty by overexposing your body in public. Do not dress to please the opposite sex. Please dress to be respected by the opposite sex. What is your modesty? It is being shy, being reserved, being decent, being decorous, being unpretentious, being a noble lady with self-respect, and respect for our tribe, our nation, and our race. Know there is both good and wicked genes passed off to our race by the rape of the Caucasus Salal, the Caucasoid race. Over the many years of abuse and mental seduction by their lust-filled media, as they offer the images to the public, their sinful ways, many of our race have fallen victim to their propaganda of open free sex. That is their own unnatural nature. They try and expose and impose on all others world over to preserve their dying genes. When you sit to watch TV, unknowingly you're watching them advertising all kinds of ways to cover up their deteriorating bodies in their commercials, how to give life to their dead fur and their rotten skin of all kinds, their hardened bones inside, all kinds of body pains to replace falling fur, replace teeth, to correct their eyes, all kinds of upkeeps, the repair of their dying bodies right in front of you. It's called carcass, from French, carcasse, the dead body, the same as caucus for Caucasoid race, the walking dead zombies. As their body is falling apart and deteriorating right before your eyes, and they advertise on TV all day all kinds of skin and grafts, facelifts, implants, adjustments of their bodies, plastic surgeries. That is what you see on TV commercial. That is what you see on TV commercials. If you know what to look for, and they give their medicines strange names so you will not remember them. Now open your eyes and your mind, and you will see he is the walking dead. They must integrate with others, or they will die off. Their ancestors being cannibals as their creators, they know they have the same symptoms of cannibalism. Only today it is called Alzheimer's disease and or Parkinson's disease, the same symptoms of those who eat human brains and flesh. This is in their DNA, and by race mixing, it is even found in our own race. Their liver spots and many skin disorders is from their ancestors' plagues of leprosy, a curse put on them now, and it's called Hansen's disease. Yet you see clean and unclean lepers, or rosy, ruddy, blush, flush, fair-skinned, pale, pink, white, called Adam and Edom to Canaan, and was told, do not mix with the Canaanites. Why the curse of leprosy in their skin or their flesh, which gives them spots or freckles, and skins and baldness and yellow, thin for hair? This is recorded of them in their own Bible and Quran. This is in the book of Leviticus chapter 13, and it explains what they look like today and calls them a plagued people. The Quran 20:102 points out their blue eyes. Other places in the Quran 55:41, their forelocks is fur, it's not nappy hair. Quran 55:72, 56:22, 23 points out their male white skin, their pearl white to silver colored pupils of the eyes. So their own holy books points out who they are and what they look like today. They must mix their genes or they will die out because of regressive genes. They are fading out as the weakest gene of all humanoids. So they spend billions on cinemas to make themselves look great or like heroes or as though they are beautiful. They propagate their weak, sick, diseased, deteriorating race as the best, while open eyes see that they live in fear of all others. So they made their unseen God come down in flesh to look as one of them, as a pale-skinned Jesus Christ. His mother and all their Bible persons as their race, just as Arabs do in their tiles, their drawings, or descriptions in their religious books. Racism is to destroy all others who do not worship the image of them and their God by whichever name you call them. So Nuwaupians, you must teach and protect your health from this disease, or you lose them to the world of the wicked evil race of Adamites, to Enoshites, to Canaanites, to Ishmaelites, and to Israelites. The seeds who only seek to offer their souls to their extraterrestrials they call deity, and to whom they worship. The trick of the Arabs' religion of al-Islam in any of its many sects or versions of their Quran and Arabic, and as soon as they could, they ran right into the arms of other races. They dropped the religion except by names only. And they live the lives of devils and are proud of it. The same for the other Nagaru who tried to raise their children in any kind of Islamism. The same with the Hebrew Israelites groups. All lose their children to the evil, wicked world of lust and luster. Truth is truth. We are the last chance for our race with Nuwaup to save our race. Starting from the sacred feminine, our youth must know the actual facts and record our next 24,000-year future. This is my as Pa Nabab Yanun's gospel. On the feminine to warn and save our race from destruction as the race of the fallen, the children of fallen angelic beings. They self-destruct because of their racism, their hate, and jealousy of all other seeds on the planet Earth. These are the final days and times, and they only seek to take all down with them. This will not come to pass. It will not happen as they plan. We plan the best plans. What I teach you is from the mother of all records, recorded and protected in Ilium, the highest place. It's in their genome. Their diseased chromosomes is failing them right now, and they know it is, and they seek to become bio-robotic beings. That will fail them. Also, when your time comes, nothing can change it, and their time has come. They must go. This is the sacred doctrine of the feminine. Know yourselves. Feminine, the breath begins with her outward from the waters of her raham, womb. To overstand breathing, you only have to follow my instructions on this. Think of these 4 attributes of your ogdoads. For the masculine to exhale and inhale life. He starts with the inhale, ahmun. Then he must exhale, kek. Then once again, he inhales, ha. Then complete the breath of life with nun. Amun is inward, kek is outward, heh is inward, and nun is outward. The breath of life for the living. The 3 bowls are for the personifying of the primordial water, out of whom emerged the being Ta, or opening the way existence. 1 being time, 2 being space, 3 being material. Now, Nuwaupians, breathe, Amun, the primordial Nithar, who is hidden inside each of you. By the Reye, Aat, Im Reye, to become Amun Reye, Amin Ra, Amun Ra. And Nun Tet are one being manifested as masculine and feminine. So the 9th being incarnated into flesh and blood being, Ta Nun, born out of Nun Tet. And know this, Nuwaupians, the feminine has 2 mouths. The perpendicular mouth of her raham, the womb called vagina, and it has both the raham, womb, and ramam, mouth, contains the chromosomes, the DNA, the genome of ontogeny, or what they call genome, ontogeny, DNA, God. G, genome, O, ontogeny. D, DNA. The life cycle of an orgasm from what goes in grows as flesh or fat. What makes this so important is whatever enters the sacred garden of delight is immediately analyzed and distributed into your blood. Whatever you put in or allow to enter your raham or ramam, a message is immediately sent to the brain, to the subconscious, to see what it is and the effect it can and will have on your inner and outer being. Feminine, you must know that just as when you put something inside your ramam, mouth, you have DNA in there and senses to detect and dissect what it is, as your lasan, tongue, has taste centers for sweet, bitter, sour, also nerves for hot, cold, soft, and hard. So also your raham has the same. Nothing should be entered into your internal cleaning. Investigating, yet never left in your raham, or it will compute it as acceptable and it becomes a part of your reproduction system. Know before what you allow inside your raham as you should your ramam. Knowing that whatever or whomever will mix in with your own DNA and becomes a part of your being and can kill your pure feminine, as with masculine, will attack her heroine, the divine feminine, the hero in life. Each male you allow to enter your raham, which is womb, departs, yet leaves behind part of his DNA to become part of your own. Each male you allow to enter your ramam, which is mouth, be it tongue kiss or genetic kiss or oral sexual pleasure, even before he ejaculates. Once he exits, then he leaves behind part of his DNA to become part of your own. Soon as you taste his flesh or swallow his semen, in both cases, he becomes part of you. The more or different men you allow to deposit his DNA into your being, this does happen and will affect your natural nature. Just as once a masculine ejaculates in your womb, your natural feminine will fight to kill off his semen, his sperm, to only allow one to hang on to the ovum for reproduction. So also masculine liquids of any kind that enters your body has an effect on you, and your body will fight it. Just as you naturally don't like when a masculine sweats on you, this is all from inside your own being. Study how your body reacts to masculine sperm. Feminine, knowing these things is a must, so you know what you have allowed to affect your thinking. Much of your inner angers against males is those that you allowed in over time. So males reject other males. You express it as men get on my nerves. That is your inner mind saying the right thing. Masculine are now in my nerve centers. Men get on my nerves. It's the men you allow to become a part of your body over years by sexual contact over 4, and you're ruled by anger through men in eternal wars. You called it love until it changed to hate or dislike, and you say, I don't know what I ever saw in him anyway. You allowed his DNA to invade your ancestral line, mask your line, and rule your 9 feminine. Feminine, protect your divine body inside out and outside in. Feminine, remember you are liquid, water, and masculine is dry earth. 3/4 of this planet is water, and only 1/4 is land. Just as you see with the chromosome stems, feminine's X, she has all 4 stems, and the masculine's Y only has 3 stems. He's missing 1 stem, making the masculine 1/4 and the feminine 3/4. To make 4/4, 4 plus 4 equals 8. Sabab or Geb is masculine earth, and Natat or Nut is sky, wind, breath, which is air and has oxygen or O8 for 8 ogdoads. Octave, oxygen, which is colorless, odorless, gaseous chemicals, elements in it. It is essential to life, to the life processes, and to combustion from combost, meaning to burn, and that is the heat in feminine's Raham, and the heat in feminine's Ramam. The oxygen is the 8th element on the atomic chart, as the 8 ogdoads, the 8 octave and symbol of infinite is 8. Know the reason masculines age faster and they die sooner. Feminine have 8 telomeres at the tips of their chromosomes, while the masculine only has 7 telomeres at the end of his chromosomes. The telomeres control the aging of the person. The chromosomes are the microscopic rod-shaped bodies carrying the genes. The genes, the unit in the chromosome by which hereditary characteristics are transmitted. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, is the basic chromosome material containing and transmitting the hereditary pattern. Ribonucleic acid, or RNA, is the essential component of all living matter. One form carries genetic information, your health, your mental state, your mind. Your physical structure, your life, and how long you live is also passed on by your genes. So when you mix your genes with a masculine, you exchange all of the above. All of his 4 generations mix with you. That is health-wise, that is your mental state. And how long his family lives, all in you. All this is affected by the exchange and contact with or between body fluids. It is best to know his and her genealogy, his or her line, age, lineage, her, it, age, heritage, that which is inherited from one's ancestors. Ancestors are persons from whom one is descended ancestry. You have inside you, active right now, back 4 generations from both your mother's gene and your father's genes. And all the persons those 4 generations exchanged fluids with are in you. So how long you live is in actual fact determined by all you mix with, and whomever your ancestors mixed with too. So feminine, for this upcoming 24,000 years, our new story, which is recorded by feminine by way of her mitochondrial, the recorder of our race genealogy. So it is the feminine who writes our story and renews it every 24,000 years. The feminine, after 400 years of mixing and diluting her genes with others, must rebuild our divine DNA, and must start by protecting the young feminine of our race and from mixing with regressive genes, even in our own race after rape by Aakhakhtat, and then being trained to desire his image or to look like him or to choose a mate look like him in our own image. So as you see, most seek a lighter-skinned mate than themselves to breed with. Our feminine must learn to seek stronger melanites to rebuild our race genes. This gospel of Yanun I reveal to my blessed children, Pa Nuwaupu, Pa Shaep, Yamasku, Nuwaupu. And just what makes the feminine divine is what takes place in her womb, linked to the universe. Just as the birth of a universe in the omniverse, the great mother, as her belly and womb is a vacuum, ball shape, so also the root seed of the universe, being grown, it attracts the material into a world to become a world. So also in the womb, the ovum seed or egg extracts the sperm, the semen, and then turns or whirls into a person, a worldly being. My blessed children of Nuwaupu, this, my gospel, is reaching inside you to awaken the divine you. And so in both, it expands or grows as it rotates like a nebula or a new babe. So you see, what happens in the birth of this one universe is the same thing that happens inside the feminine, the cycles of growth and expanding into living beings or planets, stars, moons, and so much more. So as this universe birthed this sun and placed in the center of this solar system, also the mother birthed this sun and places in his center a solar plexus, a central sun. So in human beings, the early development stage of pregnancy is the embryo stage. So this also is the early development stage of a universe. Since natural nature, science maintains that natural nature and all its universes or multiverses are living, organized, rational beings from the standpoint of original creation, and birth is the exact same. This does not take place in the masculine, only the feminine. A nebula universe is the embryo universe, a universe of natural nature, growing life. The 5 elements of life, without which is no life. Hydrogen 1, helium H2, carbon 6, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8. Another number, 24. 1 hydrogen plus 2 helium plus 6 carbon plus 7 nitrogen plus 8 oxygen equals 24. 24,000 years equinox. 24,000 genomes in the humanoids. 24,000 miles or circumference of Earth. 24 hours in a day and night. This is Planet Project 24, Sector 24. It is an immense physically and also spiritually living orb of gases, with physically and spiritually living. The universe orbs and bodies as cells and organ bodies are scattered and spotted throughout its physical existence. Now, Nuwaupians, with that, can you see how feminine is linked to the omniverse, and she is a universe at work? Her body cycles work with the luna or moon each month. She is Mother Nature, 1000% other. All others grow inside her. She grew this very universe you dwell inside, still in her womb, and always seek to ray into her womb, attracted as matter or physical. This gospel of Yanun on the sacred feminine reveals to you, Nuwaupian, her 9 daughters of secrets. A universe of nebulas with the original mother goddess, the goddess star Raatat of this universe, who from its center birthed 9 daughters. Reyetet forms within herself an embryo of natural nature. Reyetet has the energy of 9 reasons, 9 minds, and with them concentrates and initiates the divine growth of others called planets. From constellations to galaxies to the solar system, a fetus in which all true planets and stars are fully formed and developed. All from the mother sun, Reyetet. She initiates the formulation and development of the 9 daughters from her core or womb. And the full growth around the core takes place. Reyetet, the great mother of this solar system, promotes the development of this one body or universe from the omniverse. From her fetus is born 9 daughters. When all true fetus were fully formed, developed, and ready to be born, you had the feminine daughters. You have 1, Ma'at, which means harmony. You have 2, Neith, which means creativity. You have Taweret, protectress. You have Hathor, attraction. You have Serket, breath. You have Sekhmet, strength. You have Sothis, healing. You have Nekhbet, eternity. You have number 9, Seshat, records. The 9 daughters of Mother Goddess Reyetet, or Retat. 1, the harmony. 2, the creativity. 3, the protection. 4, the attractive. 5, the breath of life. 6, the powerful. 7, the curing powers. 8, the keeper of time. 9, the record keeper. The feminine reasonings born from the divine mother Retat, him Reyetet, which means to radiate. The first emanation of the one feminine supreme being known as absolute natural nature, Femina Nigon. 9 or Nigon is capable of creating or growing all things, honoring both masculine and feminine principles. They are the combination combined nation of all energies of existing materials of matter, atomic and cellular. And Nuwaupians, remember, brain is the base of all creation, be it natural nature or by feminine, or artificial or unnatural nature by masculine. Creative reasoning is the most powerful kind of reasoning, followed by reasoning called of finding the right answers to sensible questions and the correct solutions to life existence. 9 ether, 9 reason, 9 mind, 9 energy, out from herself like streaks of electric illumination. Just as the body's veins, you see it as lightning linked to nerves, and at the end of each streak of ethereal energy. In this gospel of Yanun, of the sacred feminine, you see how it all begins in other. And the incarnated feminine is 9. 1 being Atum Tet, 2 Nun Tet, 3 Ha Tet, 4 Kek Tet, 5 Amun Tet, 6 Tefnut, 7 Nut, 8 Isis, 9 Nephthys. And that is the Ogdoads and the Enneads. And when the true star's original sun heat genes were fully formed and fully developed by the brain of brains and sound right reasoning, then the fetus of this solar system was ready to give birth. And you, Pa Nagar Salau, was born. When the fetus develops a development of the person or thing, then it's complete. That race of people or things of origin is ready for birth or creation. The same Nuwaupians holds true for a universe fetus. When all the sun heat genes, the true star children of this one universe, were fully shaped and developed by their cores, this universe is then ready to grow out of and of Kamenus, Kamamu, or Pa Mukmamu, in Kamat of Afaf, Reye Ka. The brain of that race, the original race on this planet, or third from Reye, as you see of the feminine, you had three groups of them. So the physical brain needed an abode for support, protection, harmony, creativity, powers, attractions, breath, curing, records, and time, or simply the three. 1, space. 2, time. 3, matter, for birth and creation. These two have support for survival. So the brain grows those supports, or the omniverse grows from the center of attraction and control of this solar system of 9 planets. 1, Mercury. 2, Venus. 3, Earth. 4, Mars. 5, Jupiter. 6, Saturn. 7, Uranus. 8, Neptune. 9, Pluto. This brain of two-sided is herself and himself, the right side of the left side, called hemispheres. That is Kim I sphere, a black round body. Kim is black. Sphere is any round body having the surface equally distant from the center at all points. Orb, black ball, black dot. Suns are the centers of attraction, and each of you are the center of attraction and control your own solar systems. This my gospel I record for my own race and tribe of United Nuwaupian Nation of Yamasee Aboriginals of this planet, the first world people, and we as Nagaru are all of the exact same feminine mother goddesses. Basically, scientifically, and genetically, all individuals, species, and races of individuals on this planet called Earth and elsewhere. Yet here, the blacks, 9 species, the browns, 7 species, the yellows, 3 species, the red and the pale white, 6 species, Adamites and Edomites. When you look at each race of people, you can see the different features in each. Such as the yellow races, of 3 species, you see Asians or Orientals. As 1, Chinese. 2, Koreans. 3, Japanese. Also, you can see this with each of the races if you know what to look for. And from the original and much mixing, now you have many mixed features. So in fact, all individuals of a race of people are the same, if natural in nature or of a kind. The word kind is a variant of the word kin, as in kin red or clan. Pa Negaru are not a kind, for you are the original. So Kakasu is called man's kind, mankind. He is a kin red to the Dravadu, Southeast Indians, or the Browns, who are often black-skinned, yet with fur, not hair, so that branch of their kind is called the Asiatic black man. Yet from the brown man, Northeast Indian was grafted the red, white, pink, ruddy, rosy, blush, flush, and pale, who by a curse became lepers with spots or spotted, called Adamites, or Muadmu, first grafted and made 4000 BC, made in the physical image of Pa Kamahu, the Pleiadians, who was allowed to dwell in Orion's north gate, Aldebaran. Therefore, all persons of a race of individuals are relatives in some way by natural or unnatural nature. The immediate relatives are the family or those they are familiar with, to become tribes, nations, countries, and the other relatives are the continuation of the ethnic race of the people. So in focus, they take on titles of the land they took over and live to pretend they are not all the same relatives, such as Europeans and their 6 species for the same root Adam, to become Cain, Seth, Enos, then many others who dropped the Bible names and became named after lands, yet they all are the same clan, kindred of the Adamite bloodline. They will do almost anything to hide their relationship to the cursed seed of Canaanites. As they travel and spread diseases worldwide, mixing their gene pools with others. Of course, a person's kindred past or present is their blood, line, age, carried on by the feminine of their race in her mitochondrial DNA. The Europeans' mother goddess is Europa. Their story is recorded in their genes. This is why they call the first book of their history, or his story, the book of Genesis. Genes is, or the generations of Adam. As it says itself, this is the book of the generations of Adam. His line and age at death, or lineage, line, age. People with the same family and or racial blood running in their veins like lightning are the same no matter what they change, claim, or become. All Kakasu are one clan or kindred from one seed, Adam, and Hawa. Hawa, Eve. No matter where on planet Earth they dwell, they are one. A kind of man or man's kind. Mankind, the Dravadu, are humans' kind or humankind. Many try to hide under religious titles or countries to say, I'm this or that, when in fact they're mixed and the choice is not their own. Who you are is who you were before birth. What you are is what you claim to be after birth. Nuwaupians, a race of persons, per son, meaning each son, or is one being, all of them and each son, S-U-N, or individual of it is truly a part of it. According to the relativity rules of natural as well as unnatural nature, any one person or individual of an ethnic race is only a part of the body of that race. Because absolute natural nature is the only whole being that can exist, since it is all. And Nuwaupians know this: each race vibrates on their own frequency, and wavelength, none are the exact same. Everything that affects one race may not affect another. This includes lights, color, and sound. This is why each have their own music and dress. Also, viruses affect each race in their own way too. Our taste buds are not the same. That's why we like different foods. Our body temperatures is not the same. That's why we like different climates. With that said, Nuwaupians, know that nature will not affect us in the same way. Our ancestors or extraterrestrials are not the same. To each their own. You know our vibrational speed by our pigmentation, our rhythm by our pulse, our tone by our eardrum, which is the key of A flat, A major, A sharp, our body tone. And each race has a biorhythm, an inner clock of time, a bioclock that is tick, space, tock, ticking on to set time of expiration. The same for each and every animal, insect and fish, as well as plants, have an appointed time. It is all a plan, extraterrestrial or plan ET. Planet Earth is an extraterrestrial planet, as are many other planets. Some life forms you would not recognize or even call life forms. This gospel of Yanun on the feminine reveals the secrets of life, living, growth, growing, creating of this one universe and those in it. So each race was a project of extraterrestrials, what is called a master plan. Its time is running out. It will be a virus spread by the cursed genes. The evacuations failed for most. There is a flyby for Nagaru every 10 years, plus 3 equals 2003 AD and 2013 AD. In the past, some races made it, such as the Mayans and others not mentioned in his story. With that said, overstand the important actual fact. Become one in Ashuk, divine love. The divine test of the humanoids or kindred, our origin as well as relativity, unity, peace, cooperation. It must become an inheritance, participation, and able to be an identity recognized by natural nature. The Kakasalau have already, as of the year 2000 AD, been proven to have completely failed to cooperate with other races on this planet, Plan ET, Earth. The number 24, the 24,000 genomes, the 24,000 year cycle, the 24 hours in each daylight and shadow hours. This is project number 24. You are participating in the Master's plan for your salvation. So in fact, the rules of kind and original relate and vows to this. If an individual transgresses, that is, breach or breaks a natural rule, or does a wrong deed to self or someone else, and the transgressor, their self or themselves, does not account for the wicked evil transgression voluntarily, the penalty for the transgression because of origin, affinity, relativity, or their inheritance are in fact participating, and it will fall upon their kindred, as in the case of Pa Kakasu right now. Taukum, thank you. Until next time, we are streaming live on www.woonuwaup.com. WUNUWAUP.com. Without.